Alright then, so this is the first video today of the VODs that I'm going to be doing.
Ready for battle.
Let's see, this was when we had William in. We had William in on our second support line. So we're on attack here. And they're running, just looking at their setup, they've got a Hanzo up here on the right, and then they're playing on this Bastion really. They're playing the double shield with Mercy and Lucio for this Bastion, which honestly should be get picked apart. I think they started us on this first one, and we have to rotate to get through it, but I think our second rotation against this comp, and we do roll this point. So we see this almost immediately, and just with the sightlines he has, we just need to push up far enough that we can get to this. The idea was to get behind this statue, but I think this is probably just bad for us. We do end up spending way too much time trying to get back. We're down both tanks. The Orisa's coming back, but we call to go through this room in the right, which is definitely the right call for us. What? Oh, he's dead. Okay. And when we do this, the Bastion actually rotates, and their team is actually quite unorganized in this. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing yet. Which is fine. They have time to get set up the way they want as we push in. And this is much better for us because they have much shorter sightlines for us. We also get this wall off, this is actually a really well placed wall. This traps the Lucio. We need to make sure we know that this Lucio is a target, because I think it seems like a lot of us kind of ignored the Lucio, and he was able to get away because of that. So we need to be more vocal in comms when we wall someone off like that, as that was actually a really good wall that trapped the Lucio. But either way, they're completely boomed now. They have no idea what they're supposed to do, because their shield is stuck on one side. They have no more Sigma shield, and we've rotated 3 of us around this side of the pillar and 3 of us on this side of the pillar. We use Ice Block for the Mei to keep the Mei alive. Hanzo's on our soldier, but everyone's focusing on this Bastion, which is probably the right play here. Get him out of the way, because he's going to be the most damage. We get him out, we get him killed, and their comp should pretty much fall apart after the Bastion's gone. Our soldier's very low, but we should be able to heal him. Sigma throws his rock. We get their Orisa. Their Hanzo's still up on this high ground here, and their supports are both very low, just in main. So these supports should be our focus right now. We get 1. We get 2. Hanzo gets our soldier. We should be alright. Hanzo gets our Baptiste. But there's still 4 of us on point, and it's just Hanzo and Sigma left on point right now. So we kill the Sigma. And then the Hanzo is just beating up our Orisa, but we kill him, and we cap the point. Now, I think they half commit to a recontest here, but they don't actually go for it. Yeah, they don't have time. And then this wall is one I'm not as big a fan of, because it doesn't really provide us too much value. It just walls off the Bastion, which in its own isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there's no reason we needed it to be like that at that point in time. We could have walled more aggressively and, you know, trapped somebody in this room. And I think you were aware of that when you did it. So we just move forward. But definitely with this kind of position where we're at right now, we can be chasing. We can have everyone but like the Baptiste, who's on his way back from bad spawn. Baptiste is the only one who needs to really be pushing the cart at this point in time. We can all go really, really aggro here. Like we can push up here on top of this up by turret right now and just try and clean up some kills. Because this is a really devolved fight at this point. So any kind of grouping up together gets us a lot of value. The Hanzo gets our Mei, but he's forced to back up by the soldier. We get a really good pull on the Sigma that keeps him within range of us for a while. And we're just pushing the payload along. Sigma's keeping the Bastion occupied. But other than that, he's probably just gonna... Mercy's gonna continue to heal him. And he should be fine. But we're pushing the payload. We kill their Hanzo. So what's the kind of important thing of what's going on here right now is, if you look at how our team's set up, we currently have 4 of us on point right now. There's 4 of us on point, and our Mei is almost back. They're stuck with 3 on the point, and the Bastion and Mercy are both occupied on the Sigma. So without even really getting kills or anything like that. The Sigma is occupying 2 people and making this a winnable 5v4 for us up top here. Sigma drops to contest the point, and now it's a 3v5, 3v6 when the Mei gets back. While we wait for the rest of the enemies to get back here. We pop our Sigma ult. We should hit 3. The Mercy flies into it. Does she get hit by that? Or is it just these 2? No, Mercy does get hit by it. Alright then. So we should be focusing... Target right now we should be focusing is probably this Lucio, because this... Oh, the Orisa used Fortify actually in the drop. So now both their supports are half. And there's not really much we can do to really clean that up though. So they are able to heal themselves back up. But either way, the Bastion pops his ultimate up on high ground. Mercy's using Valk. As far as ultimates go, they'll have everything. They've using 2, and they have 4 more ready to go. As far as ultimates go for us, we have everything but Gravitic Flux, which we just used. We use our beat in response to the Bastion ult. That's a really good use of beat there. Yeah, and then we wall off. I'm not really sure this. I don't like this wall. I think the idea with this wall is probably to wall off the Bastion. If you do that, you want to put it up here on the high ground. This is where you want to build the wall, because it means he has to rotate and basically drop down to get any value out of his ultimate. Right here, and I think you probably take this wall down in a second. Or it gets run over by the payload anyways. So that doesn't really matter. We get stunned by the Sigma ball, but the Bastion is just here trying to get value out of his ultimate. And I think we put the Sigma ball right in front of his face, so he doesn't really get much out of that. And he doesn't kill anybody. We use no mortality field. Keeps us everyone alive. And we push on this Bastion. This Bastion will die in a second. We use our Mei ultimate as well, which is a really good use of Mei ult. They use their Sigma ult, but the Mei freeze stops him from being able to get his ultimate off. They use their beat to keep their tanks alive, but this should be a 1 fight for us now. We should be able to clean this fight up pretty well. They use their dragon on point, so their Hans is behind us. So we need to make sure we're aware of that and protect our supports accordingly. But we lose our Mei to the dragon ult, but everyone else should be fine. Yeah, so we turn around to deal with this. Our Lucio peels for our... Actually, he's peeling for the Orisa right now. But the Lucio is peeling for the back line, and the Orisa in the back line. And then they've got their Lucio with their Hanzo, while the soldier, wherever he went, don't actually know now. Oh, the soldier DC, that's what happened. Okay. So the soldier would be up here with the Sigma, and then it's just the Sigma v Sigma fight right now. Up here in the front, and in the back here, the Orisa, the Baptiste, against just the Lucio and the Hanzo. The Lucio is kind of bouncing back and forth between the 2. I see a lot of indecisiveness here, and I think you're just trying to push the payload. Helping this 2v2 become a 3v2 and winning it is probably more valuable than pushing the cart right now. So I'd like to see you move back over that way and help with this Lucio. So we kill their Sigma, we get their Lucio, and then we still have this Hanzo behind us. We should make sure we don't lose him into this Hanzo. He's not hitting shots anyways. It's a good shield, a good pull. Hanzo should die. Hanzo dies. They put their Bastion back up on that high ground there. Just put a barrier up in front of his face and try and rotate the payload. This way we use Immortality Fields as well. This kind of draws his fire, just to keep that from being alive. Our Baptiste needs to rotate underneath the bridge. We run it under the bridge though. He has no sight lines, and we cap the point because he can't contest.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
And our soldier rejoins. So we kill their Bastion. We use the Baptiste ult. I don't know if we really need this ult here for the Baptiste. I don't really know if that gets us too much value in this fight. Just like it does allow us to melt them, but this is already a 1 fight, and we've already capped the point. So even if we die, our spawn is right here. So I don't think we really care that much. And this Bastion's up behind us. Can we just clean him up? I think. Yeah, the Mercy doesn't have res, so she won't go for the res again. Other than that, we're just pushing back forward on the point. There's only 2. There's 2 up front, 3 of us on point. Hanzo's up here on the left side, focusing the Mei. He gets the Mei in the duel. but he's very low. We get their Lucio. Their Mercy and their Hanzo are both behind us now. And we use a pull to just kind of dislodge the Hanzo. He gets separated from his Mercy for a little while, which would be the opportunity to kill him. Which you do, which is huge. Mercy comes in, she just pulls out her pistol. Oh no. Alright. We'll just move on from that. Hanzo already had you low. Bastion sets up again on this right side, and everyone else. If once we're aware of this, we should just play right here. We should just move behind this wall, and he has to relocate again, which we pretty much do. The main line who's on the tank on the payload, they do that. The Mei walls off this Bastion and just moves away, rotates back up front with the team. We use beat here, which is actually a pretty good use of beat. This should help us play we can play aggro with this. This is a good use of the ult for tempo. We kill their Sigma, we kill their Mercy, or we almost kill their Mercy. Mercy dies. Nice shot. The Bastion's down here on the bottom there and hole. The Moira dies. The Orisa's very low. She dies. They pop Dragon on payload as well, which is huge by the Immortality Field. The Immortality Field saves the fight there. The Mei wall to kind of keep the Bastion from getting too much value. We lose our Lucio because he's LOS'd by the Mei wall from the Immortality Field. So we need to be careful when we put Mei walls up that we don't wall off teammates. Other than that, we're just pushing the payload again. The Mei's on the Hanzo. She gets the Hanzo. Dead. Mei's on the Mercy now. Mercy pulls out her pistol again. The Mei should kill her. Mei does. And it's just their Moira and their Sigma on point right now. We use the Sigma ult on both their tanks. We use a pull into the Sigma ult to make sure they can't get out. That's a really good use of that. And they have the supercharger here. We throw our Mei ult down. Our supercharger's underneath the payload right now, but LOS is being broken by it, so it's still alive. The Mei ult kills it though. And we should clean this up. They shouldn't really be able to recontest that. And they don't. That's really well played by us. It's really good use of, especially game sense things like the Mei wall and the Mei ult. I didn't see any real issues with the Mei wall. I saw really good play with the beat. I saw really good positioning on the Lucio. I saw really good use of Immortality Field there. That was a really well played game. So now on to our defense. I think our defense is pretty good on this one. So we keep the same composition going. We're playing the Soldier, we're playing the Mei, we're playing the Double Shield, and we're playing Lucio and Sigma. This is kind of, minus McCree, what we were seeing in the Overwatch League and what we based our original comp on. I think we do change up a bit after we realize Echo is live. But in that, so the Reaper is on point. He just teleports himself on point. We use Mei wall, we use Mei Ice Block maybe a bit early, but we still force out the Wraith form and he backs out. So, doesn't really matter. Both of those cooldowns are gone now. And they're roughly equivalent. Both Sigmas use Rock, and the Reaper comes back again. So we chase him off. He gets our Mei, but we get him. So that's a fair trade. As defenders, we kind of like that, I think. Their baby Diva's here, and their Soldier's way around on the right side. Their tanks are kind of rotating back and forth down main, trying to decide what they want to do. But they are coming down main. Their Diva gets their mech back, and they split up really badly here. So the Diva's now going aggressive. Like, just looking at the positioning of everything they have here, their Soldier's way back here, just kind of throwing damage. Their Moira is trying to heal the Lucio, and the Lucio's coming over here because this is where the Diva is. The Diva decides to charge in though, while the Sigma's still right here with his shield here. So his shield he's getting no value right now because there's another shield in his face. So he can't do damage right now. But the Diva dives in. We block the Sigma Rock with a Orisa shield, which is really well played. This Diva should die. She's very low. She uses all her defense matrix, and then she dies. Their Soldier's still just in the background throwing damage in. We're throwing damage in. We don't currently have a shield, but we should have a shield back in a second. We do have the sustain, that it doesn't matter. We get the Diva, which is really well played there. their Reaper comes back around behind us again. So we're a little bit slow to react to this, but we push him away. That's good use of the boop there. And the soldier turns around to deal with him. Okay, that's really good coordination there. Which I think we called that out very early. And that's why the soldier and the Mei both turn for that. Which is exactly how we're supposed to do that. So we're just playing forward. The Orisa just doesn't have shields, so she's playing further back right now with the team. Turns around, pressure that Reaper, but he's already backed out. There's the soldier in that right room over there. And then there's the Reaper here with the Lucio. As far as ultimates go, we've got both support ultimates. We have Gravitic Flux. We're halfway to our Mei ult. We're pretty close to Soldier ult, and we're halfway to Bongo. As far as their ultimates go, all they have is Tactical Visor and Beat, and they're still decent ways away from anything else.
Barrier is out of existence.
So we get booped away by the Lucio, but don't really think he gets too much value realistically out of that. Sigma throws a rock in. We block it with the shield. The Moira peels to help the soldier get out, but he has to back up. They're still down. They're still down their D.Va, and they're kind of playing. They're playing very stupid here. The Reaper re-engages on the back line, but Soldier's already there to watch him. We kill their Sigma. We pop our Baptiste ult. This one, I think we're probably gonna have to work on this a bit more when we use our Baptiste ults. Just because this is kind of at this point it's kind of a one fight. They're playing very split, and there's a difference between using ultimates for cleanup and using ultimates to make a fight winnable. And this is more of a cleanup ult. This is gonna make the cleaning up of their supports very easy. But realistically, as defenders, we want fights to last as long as they possibly can, and we still win, because it means we gain the most ultimate charge and use up the most time for them to get nothing out of it. So they pop Visor, we pop Beat in response. It's a really good use of Beat there, and we all turn around and deal with the soldier on point. And I think we chase him now as well. We lose our soldier to the Moira, but he gets stuffed in the back room here with both the Moira and the Reaper, which is okay because we get their soldier. They have no Lucio anymore either, so we all in all we're still very much up in this fight. The D.Va the mech is super low. She dies. Kill the baby D.Va, and they go back to the regroup. As far as ultimates going into this fight, they pop the coalescence very early. I don't like this coalescence by them. And we have 4 ultimates. The only things we don't have are our support ultimates, but we use their support ultimates in the ways they probably should have been used there. There's not really too much that I don't like about this. Okay, and that was a really good use of Immortality Field. To keep our Sigma alive there. And positioning of it, I like the positioning there purely because it was used to save the Sigma, so there wasn't really a great way to put it somewhere else. You are very much aware of this in some of the other times I hear you talk about it, but just the only problem with this really is that they burn it down very quickly. But it gets all the value it was intended to get. It keeps the Sigma alive during the Moira ult. So we're okay. We held back on point. Our Mei has to use Ice Block, Reaper, and the what's it called? The Reaper has to back up though from the Mei. The Mei has damage boost now. We're using both tank ultimates in this fight now. We use Mei ult as well. As far as ultimates go for this fight, I think this is actually really good. I think we probably used a bit more than we probably wanted to in a perfect world. Because we used Mei Freeze, we used Bongo, we used Gravitic Flux, but we do have Visor for next fight. As far as their ultimates go, they're going to have Gravitic Flux and Reaper ults. They're only going to have 2 to the 1 ultimate we have, and we're very close to having Sigma, or not Sigma ult, Baptiste ultimate again. They're playing very split. Their Reaper is going to drop down, and he's going to use his ultimate for whatever reason here. So they have ultimate advantage right now because... They have ultimate advantage right now because the only ultimate we actually have is going to be Soldier ult, and we're pretty close to Baptiste ultimate. But that isn't really a fight-changing ultimate in a lot of cases. It's very much a much smaller tempo ultimate or cleanup ultimate. But they're gonna have Sigma ult as well next fight if they keep this Death Blossom. But he decides to drop in and uses ultimate. we lose the Lucio. So this is a kind of big thing with the Mei wall here, is the putting the Mei wall on top of the immortality field. If you see Sigma here isn't being affected by it, Baptiste isn't being affected by it, the Mei is the only one who is being affected by this. So you can, your own teammates, you can block LOS on that ability. So that's why we lose the Lucio there. So that we need to work on the coordination between those two abilities. But otherwise, the Lucio pushes forwards all by himself, and he gets killed. Clean up. Now coming back, we have our soldier and our Lucio. Soldier and Lucio are coming back, but they don't have time to push anyways. So they just, you know, ult economy be damned. They pressed Q because they wanted to press Q, and they switch over to the Junkrat. So now the only ultimate they have going into this next fight is Gravitic Flux, while we have Baptiste ultimate. I think we used this a bit early, because they kind of have the ability to break LOS on it. I think the better way I would like to see this used is when they rotate here on point. So when the enemy team is here, we're going to rotate back, preferably closer to this corner, but we'll probably play like right here. I would like to see it there when the pressure it's making is keeping them off point, whereas right here we do get a kill off it. We lose our Junkrat, we lose our Baptiste, which is unfortunate. But we are making kills with it. We kill their D.Va mech with it, and we kill their Junkrat. So they're down 2 and a D.Va mech. And we're only down our Baptiste right now. So overall, we are advantaged in this fight. The soldier goes around his right side again, like he's been doing. Just Moira doing some damage, but we chase down this soldier, and he should die pretty quickly. He does. We clean that up. Our soldier uses our visor. I like this use of visor here. We clean up their Lucio. We clean up their baby D.Va. We force their Moira to use their ultimate. I don't like this beat in response to the Moira ult. I don't think it really matters too much, but yeah, I'm not a fan of this use of beat because Moira ult isn't something that is like guaranteed to kill us. Beat is much more valuable. Beat can be used here to stop their soldier ultimate, their D.Va bomb, or their rip tire if they have one of those. I think our soldier DCs again. Yeah, it looks like you just DC'd, which is unfortunate. But it's okay, you got the value out of your ultimate. And then DCs are just kind of unlucky. They use their Sigma ult, so we should back up. This would be where you use the beat. Using beat in a Sigma ult completely ruins his ultimate. It's okay, we have the immortality field, which saves our Sigma. They rotate around. We're playing grouped up together, which is really well by us. We use the Mei wall, and that stops their Moira from being able to escape into this back room, which is really well played. We're chasing this Moira down. She has Fade, though. She is able to get away. We lose our Baptiste. We pop our Sigma ult, but they're popping Visor. And because we had used Beat earlier, we don't have Beat to respond to the Visor with. Soldier die, yeah, and then they're able to clean this fight up just with ultimate economy. Off of that, we use the Mei ult, which is, yeah, the Mei ult, it was very, I think we called it, that was actually good, and it was very close to being enough to win at this fight. They have to use Beat to respond to it, so I think that alone gets it value, and the fact that we almost win this fight after it is just a bonus. We forced Beat with Mei ult, and we almost recontested point. So both our supports get back, but I think their respawns are going to be here faster than the rest of our respawns, and they should be able to cap this. We do go back in with tanks, actually. We pop Bongo. They use Junk Tire. They get nothing with the Junk Tire because we use the Immortality Field. It's a really good use of Immortality Field. I think our target focus is kind of off here, and we don't have any DPS with us right now. We use this Baptiste ult. I really like the positioning of this Baptiste ultimate. This is a really good use of it because this allowed the Orisa who is playing with it to amplify her damage, as well as you to amplify your healing on the Sigma. But we lose our Lucio. Mei's back. Mei's dead. Just Sigma and Soldier on point. Sigma dies, Soldier dies, and they should be able to cap point. So yeah, that was actually really good use of the ultimates we did use there, because we forced them to use a lot more ultimates than they needed to win that fight. It just wasted a lot of their time. It was overtime, so it doesn't really matter. But as far as the ultimates they used, that was still really good. As far as our positioning here for this, I don't really like this Orisa shield. We're playing very split right now. I like this Mei positioning, just kind of here on this flank here. The Lucio's coming back. The Baptiste, where did the Baptiste go? He's somewhere. Yeah, he's in this room. Okay, that's fine. I think the Orisa should be playing up in this corner. This rock right here is probably where we want to hold this next fight. But we're down both barriers right now, so we're playing back. They use their Sigma ultimate. Their Sigma ultimate hits 5, which is a really good use. This we would beat this. This is a good time to use beat. And beat works while you're up in the air. I don't think the soldier will get hit by it, but we use Immortality Field instead to survive that. That's perfectly fine. That's a good use of that. We lose our soldier, which is just unfortunate to the junk spam, and we use beat a bit later in this fight, and we back up.
Get into position.
Their soldier goes up on high ground. The Junkrat's in this back room with our Mei, which Junkrat gets that kill. Soldier's popping ultimate behind us, so now they're using ultimates to clean up that fight. That was already a 1 fight for them. The visor was a poor visor by them. We lose our soldier, and they cap the second point. So now we're very much. This is a very bad spot for us. We need to make sure we rotate now. Personally, I think we decided to all try and go through this way. I don't personally like that. The Sigma's kind of stuck going that way because it's the fastest way for him, but I think everyone else should go back through this room and rotate that way. It just gives them less LOS on you. We are fine. We use Lucio's speed boost and we did get through, and they use the Jinker Tire to kill our Orisa. Anyways, so we need to be backing up anyways. We need to just play, basically, walk back to the spawn room, wait for our Orisa to spawn in, and recontest with the Orisa. We use our Baptiste ultimate here. I don't really like this because we're playing back and we're waiting for our team to get back anyways. So I don't think this is really... the intention here is to kind of stabilize, and Orisa's back now. So actually, it's actually fine. We use the Mei wall to break the Diva Bomb. We use I don't like this beat. There was no reason to use beat here. They're not using any ultimates, and beat is a really good response ultimate to a lot of their ultimates they have. So I don't really like using the beat here. Either way, we get the Gravitic Flux up here on the Moira and the Sigma. They all should be able to live this, though. The Moira should be able to heal the Sigma, and the Moira, she probably, yeah, she uses Fade, and she probably survives that. So our Higma's just here kind of fighting this. They use beat here as well. I don't like this beat by them, but it's just trying to sustain this fight longer. So we have to back up because of the beat. They use both support ultimates as well in this fight, which I don't like. Because I think they're very nervous. They know that they need to cap in the next minute before they run out of time. Because overtime they lose guaranteed if they overtime. The best they can do is a draw if they overtime, and we have 3 minutes to get 1 tick on point. So they use the Rip Tire. I think. No, they don't kill the Orisa with it. They go aggro with it. We kill it. All right, that's really well played by the soldier there. We kill that. We lose our Baptiste to the Moira ult. We lose our Orisa in the backup.
I've got you in my sights.
We pop soldier ult here. I really like this soldier ult. This is a good time to be using soldier ult. So we pop around this corner because they really have nothing to respond with this now. They've used both their support ultimates already, and you focus here. You're on this. All right then. The only thing I really have problem here is that we have nothing to back you up here. This positioning. I like this positioning, but it isn't coordinated with the team, so no one is there to help you with it. Either way, we put the Mei freeze on, and the Mei freezes literally all 6 of them, and forces the Junkrat to back up instead. I think Sigma's breaking the LOS on it for right now. If you guys didn't know, yeah, breaking LOS does stop the Mei ult from applying. So you freeze these people. We should be able to clean this up really well. So now they're down. They're now in both supports. Their soldier probably die before he gets unfrozen. He actually backs up. but he'll die in a second. They pop their Sigma ult. This is a really bad use of ultimates by them. This was already a lost fight. They need to just back up and regroup. So they use Sigma ult, and they catch the Lucio and the Mei, I think. The Mei uses her ice block anyways, so it's just the Lucio that gets caught in it. And he should be able to heal himself back up through this. Yeah, he isn't half health, so he shouldn't die. He just goes down, he goes half. And the Lucio just is healing. Helping the Mei with the D.Va here. Junkrat's here on this Sigma here. But he's very low and dies. We get their D.Va out of mech. And we should be able to clean these two up pretty quickly. D.Va dies. Sigma dies. And they push forward. As far as ultimates go for this next fight, we'll have the Baptiste thing again. We're pretty close to beat. We have both tank ultimates, and we're about halfway on our Mei ult and pretty far away from our soldier ult. As far as their ultimates go, the only thing they have is soldier ult, and they're less than halfway to everything else. So it doesn't even matter. Okay, so going into this, they pop soldier. They pop their soldier visor, and we put the Baptiste window up in front of that, which is actually a really good play. I do like that response to that, so we can try and burn him down. I think that's really well played. We have to use the Mei wall, but that does kill we get the Lucio. That's a good Mei wall. Its main purpose there was to stop the Lucio from doing anything, and it does block some of the effectiveness of the window, but we kill the Lucio through the window pane. Anyways, soldier's still just here on the right side here. We used beat. I don't like this beat. I think this is unnecessary. We should be saving beat more for when we like ultimates that we need it to survive, which they probably won't have anymore. So it is the end of the game. So overall, it's just kind of we pass all of our Qs now. The game is over. But I do want to make sure we're out of the habit of just kind of using beat to win fights. This beat is really best used to counter ultimates. So they don't touch the point again, they lose the game. And that's that one.